Now it's official. Thanks for the heads up. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks. What? This is early access. Oh my god, nobody said it. Welcome to Restart Day. Restart Day is the day in which we start a new base, and then we go to cycle 20 or so, and then we start another new base, and then we go to cycle 20 or so, and then we start a new base, and then we go to cycle 20 or so. Normally I would be continuing Restart Day from the past couple weeks, and we would be doing 40 to 41, or 41 to 60 in the previous 4 bases that you can find on YouTube. However, new patch. And new patch means that I can't start the old bases, so we're instead going to do it with the new patch. So we're going to do the new patch. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. We're going to do the stuff, and it's going to be great. So we're going to actually start new bases today, which is going to be fun. And then this week, we'll take them from 0 to 20, and then next week, we're going to take them from 21 to 40, and then we're going to take them from 41 to 60, 61 to 80, 81 to 100, and then I don't know if we're going to go past 100 or if we're just going to reset back again, right? And then that should be... Well, actually, that's a bunch of cycles, so then we'll be into the next patch, and we'll just restart them again. So I think that's actually going to work out pretty good. We're going to work along with the patch cycles, so it'll be great. And this is my YouTube intro. Yeah, I did it, finally, without any stuff and any people and anything. Boom. We got it, people. We got it. So we're going to start a new one. Unfortunately, it does mean since we are doing Restart Day, I don't name the duplicates, but hey, we're just going to go ahead and give them their default names, which is fine. So we're going to do a new game. We're going to start our new game. I don't know if anything's working. Oh, wait, no, the chat bot is live. Okay, we're all good. We are all good. We're going to start a new game. I might just take what it gives me. I don't know. We'll see. So close. So close. Oh, I didn't do Twitter. I didn't do Twitter. I have to do Twitter. Restart Day. Branch Edition. Please post. Restart Day Branch Edition. There we go. Twitter. Now Twitter knows. And oxygen not included. I did that. Alright, we're good. We are solid and set. Let's restart. We'll start. Alright, I shouldn't do that. Copper Volcano's not so good. It's both good, and you must respect the Copper Volcano. So it is both good and dangerous. And of course, in true my channel fashion, we found the dangerous side. I'm gonna shuffle you because I don't want to deal with that. But I like. Oh, look at that, squeamish, but no interests. That unfortunate. It's sad how that happens. You're +5 to ranching, and a quick learner, and you want you are fantastic. You're going to get kept. So we're going to take the Happy Laboratory. This is actually going to be Hatch Ranch. So this will be the Hatch Ranch, and then the next one that we do, base 2, will be the... We'll make it like the Slickster Ranch, and then the 3 will make a different ranch. So we're going to start new. This is kind of... This sucks, actually. So you would think this water is good. The water is good, right? Because we've got this water pool down here that we could easily drain these 2 water pools into. And to get to it, we kind of have to go through this algae. But this is the only big pocket of algae we have. We have some here. I guess there's probably going to be some down here, and there's some around that. But all of our metal is located in the complete opposite direction, which super sucks, because that means that not only do we kind of have to dig this way and either exploit this water, or do the smart thing and dig this way, exploit this water, so we can drain these at some point, right? We can save this as our secondary water supply, and we can also drain this in here. It's super easy. But we also have to dig this way simply to get metals, so that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. So let's kind of lay out what we're gonna do. We're going to dig ourselves to here, and I think what I want to do is I want to come down and kind of come into this water supply from here. So we're gonna make this our shaft, and then we'll make a small little U shape to keep this clean, and we'll do that. What we're also going to do is we're going to put a kind of a difference thing, right? We're going to come up here, we're going to make bedrooms and stuff up here, and that'll be why we're going to do this. But we're also going to put bathrooms up here, right, near the bedrooms, and then we'll have some workstations and things like that down here. So that way we kind of keep the heat away from our bedrooms and living conditions. So we're going to do that. So this will be our main shaft that comes up this way. I don't really mind hitting into these right off the bat because we are getting a bunch of algae, so we'll be okay. Why did it keep playing old vids on you? Don't know. Do not know, good sir. And then we'll start our bedroom kind of in this area, right? So we'll start a bedroom and we'll start our bathrooms on this opposite side. So we're going to dig out a whole bunch of area. This will all be pressurized for a little while. It's going to suck for a layout for a little bit, but it'll be okay. So these are actually going to be floors. And that's what we're going to do. So as a priority, we want to get it to this point, and then we want to kind of go up, and we want to dig out bathrooms, and we also want to go down, right, because we're going to dig this out. So we're going to let them go so we can get some resources. Those are super important. We got our ladders, so we know that this is going to be our transit shaft. So these ladders are going to kind of come down to here. And then this is going to be an area where we're going to try to keep our water a little bit more. And we're going to put our pitcher pump over here, right? So they can hop over this wall at some point to get to our pitcher pump. And then we're going to do this. So that way, if they pee or something like that up here right off the bat, right? Because we're not really pushing potties super quick. We are, but we're also not. And then this is going to be floors, and this is going to be outhouse, outhouse, outhouse. That's the door, so then we'll cancel that one. Oh, you're already deciding to get yourself in a pretty bad spot, huh, bud? Yep. And then this can be our wash basin. Wash basin's super important. Never forget your wash basin. Your wash basins are important because, well, they're what keeps your colony from getting food poisoning. And then we'll come down this way. And then this becomes super important, right? So now we're going to do this. We're going to have our bathroom. We're going to set the bathrooms to 8 so that they always get redone. And we're going to set this to left so that way they have to come this way. And then eventually what we'll do is once this kind of goes away, we'll build this into a true bathroom. Actually, we're going to start laying that out. So we're going to put like... I'm actually going to do this... Yeah, you know what? We're going to do it 3 high. That's fine. 3 high. And then this is going to be the door. And then once this gets put off, this will be fine. So we're going to queue up the door. And then that block will eventually be what it needs to be. Right, so now we're going to come down here. They're going to build this. This is a lot of space, but we do have a lot of oxalite, so I'm not super worried about oxygen just yet. I am more worried about just getting the basic amenities up and running. Right, and this is going to be our bathroom, or our bedroom, so we're going to do this, and we're going to say that. Now, I'm going to actually only do those, because I want the bedroom to kind of be a thing. So, we're actually going to put it there. Yeah, we're going to put it there, and we're just going to have them learn to live with their beds. So we've got that. They're asleep. That's fine. We'll get the bedroom set up tomorrow. No big deal. We're okay. Okay, there's 2 of them down here. So we're good. We're in a good spot. So that's good day 1, actually. We had to expand a little bit more just to kind of compensate for an ultimately good but an ultimately poor starting layout. And then what we'll do is we'll come up here, we'll do our bedrooms, right? Our bedrooms are going to be 4 tall. So we'll do our bedrooms, and then we're going to put some storage and stuff. I normally do it right here, and I think I might do that again. Even though it's ugly, I think I might do it again. And then we'll be able to kind of dig out of our bedroom at some point soon and come do this. So that oxalite just disappeared. We dumped all of our materials to the end of the ground, huh? That sucks. So we're just going to do this. They're going to dig out all of the sand, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We just dumped all of our materials down here, which is kind of crappy. So what we're also going to do is even though we did this, we're going to dig on this side, and this side's going to be our ladder down into the water. So we're going to have a ladder that comes down. And so that way we can, one, reinforce this eventually, because we're going to make it so that it's not just you know, sand and fertilizer and sandstone and obsidian and stuff. But in 2, that way we can access all of these materials that just dropped into the water while they were building this platform. Super important. So we're going to put in a cot, and an extra cot. That's going to help pressurize this, because this is going to go, once this disappears, right, we're going to open this one up. So once this one disappears, it's going to be really helping pressurize the area. So we're not super worried about it. I'm not super worried about it. And then we've got you and you. Now, I know that it's counterintuitive for a lot of people, since, you know, one of the things that I say is, hey, every block that you dig is a block that you have to pressurize, right? And does that actually count as a room? It doesn't, because these aren't even there. And the real kicker here is, well, this 3 wide shaft, and people will notice, well, why not just the ladder going up and down? And the reason is gas physics. Gas physics in this game, they just work better when they have more room to play with. So since they have more room to play with, they just simply work better. Right, and all of our carbon dioxide is going to fall down here. So this is going to be where we actually keep our food in a little bit. So we've got our beds made, we've got that. Now we do need metal, because we are pretty much out of metal. All we have is 98 kilograms of copper. Now we can either come get this copper, or we can kind of start mining over here. And there's 2 different ways we can think. To get this copper, we kind of got to go through this oxalite, which is going to disappear now anyway. Well, this one's not, but this one is. So we can go kind of get this copper right here. That'll last us for a little while. It also opens up this algae, which we're going to be using to make air eventually. We can get this copper. We can dig out... I was going to do storage here, but I think this is actually going to be my cross tunnel. So we're actually going to do storage down here, right? Kind of like right there, and then we'll build a thing, and then more storage as we dig out this algae later. So we're going to do storage there, and then up here, for this tile, I don't think that counts as a... Oh, it does. That you do not need that tile, apparently. So this actually counts as a latrine, and this is the first room bonus that we've caught on to. And this room bonus just gives us, makes it so that when they're pooping and peeing, they get less stress accumulation, right? They have a nice bathroom, so now they're not going to get as much stress, which is really good because it's basically free. You know, free stress management, which is super important. So we'll cancel those. Let's just build these ones, and then we're gonna go up, and we're gonna get this, because that's what I want. Now, the other room bonus that we can go and look for is we can look for a bedroom bonus. And since this oxalate just disappeared, we're gonna have to build a thing right there. And then to get that room bonus, all we need to do is add a door here. This isn't a big enough, or this isn't a small enough space. Right now it's not gonna be recognized as a room until this door is built, but once this door is built, see, now it's a room and it's a barracks. And that gives us a stamina recovery bonus, which is fantastic because there's no reason not to use it, right? So next things on our list. 1, we should keep on top of cleaning. Right? So that way it's not super bad. And cleaning really hurts their stress. So we should keep on top of cleaning. And 2, we're going to grab some more metal so that we can make 2 things. We can make a research station. We're going to do our workstations down here because that's going to make it so that our heat isn't there. And I know that this supercomputer is 3 tall and that some of the other things that I'm going to use are 3 tall. So I'm actually going to drop this down an extra to right there. And then I'm going to dig this out, because this is going to be the space that I'm using for both. Originally, it's going to be for electrical generation and for research, and then we'll put a microbe musher over here, which will be for food. So the other thing that we need is going to be power. And power, we're going to throw a manual generator, 2 batteries, and just some wires to start like this. And then it's going to come out like this, and then we're going to put a microbe musher over here at some point. So we're just going to do that. And then we need to give it a floor. Because that tile, the wire is going to carve out those tiles so that they don't have a thing anymore. And then we should also give this a floor, just because later we're going to want all of that type of stuff. So we're going to make those things. This is going to let us do some research, initial research. That initial research is super important. So now we're going to get a new dupe. Unconstructive Grease Monkey, but you're unconstructive, but you're really quick at learning stuff, and you do want to dig. Are you good at digging? Nah. You're good at farming, and you do want to farm. Congratulations, Max. Welcome to the colony. Limo, how are ya? And so they're going to clean up. We're going to do that. Good night. Good night, sir. Good evening. Good evening. Good night. Hello. Goodbye. Who are we to really question? Oh, that's broken. Even when they don't even have jobs, their hair changes. Aw, that's fine. So, you may notice that most of the oxalite that I have come to rely on is now gone. And that means that this isn't going to really pressurize as much anymore. So it means that I need to actually start providing my own oxygen. And we're going to do that through the use of algae deoxidizers. We're just going to use one right now. This is going to get kind of rough. 35 bits, thank you. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, but thank you. Ad bits are the addiest. We're just going to use one algae deoxidizer down here right now. Up here is going to get a little rough. The algae is going to come up, or the oxygen's going to flow up eventually, and that's why this 3 wide is really nice. But I want to make sure that this area is also properly pressurized, so that's also important to me. And then what'll happen is all of the carbon dioxide is going to come down and settle down in this pit. And that's what we want. We want this carbon dioxide to come settle down in this pit. And then we need to make sure that we give this power. So we just need to hook it into our power system. So I'm also going to set this algae deoxidizer to 9, because without it, they're not going to be able to breathe, and they're all going to die, which is going to be horrible. So now that it's on, it's set to 9, they're going to deliver some algae, and it's just going to start pumping out some air. Now this puts out 550 grams a second of air, which is actually enough for 5 duplicates. Yeah, it's enough for about 5 duplicants to live comfortably. And the other thing that gets good here is our research station is up and running. We want to research advanced research, and this gives us 1, the ability to research anything past this first line, 2, the supercomputer, which is going to make it so that we can research anything past this first line, and 3, the jobs board, which allows us to play with hats. So we like hats. Hats are the real goal of this game. Hats, MVP. So this just went here. Hey. Bomb. And we've got hats. So we'll have hats in a minute. So he's just going to go ahead and research. And then we're also going to take care of food, but we don't have the metal. So now we're kind of in a rough spot, right? Because there's no metal besides this stuff right up here. And now I have 2 options. This one is vacuum, which sucks, right? Literally, it sucks, because it's going to take any air pressure that we have here, and it's going to try to equalize it here. And then this one is just simply full of carbon dioxide, which also sucks, because once we open this, all of that carbon dioxide is going to flow down to here. There's just no good options, so... And then there's this one up here. And we don't have access to airlock doors yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, we're going to mine out a whole bunch of this, and then we're actually going to build a wall. And we're going to wall it off so that we don't have to pressurize that area. So we're also going to wall this off, and we're going to come north. Right, so we're going to come north a little bit to about there. We're going to build ourselves ladder to about there, and then we're going to just dig a tunnel over this way so that we can claim some of this sweet copper. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clean it up, and we're going to build a wall right about here, so that way we no longer have to pressurize that whole area. Because even though it's working okay right now, it's gonna stop at some point. And we definitely need that because we are running out of food. We start off with a pretty decent amount of food, but... it's fine. We're good. So I'm going to wall this off so I don't have to pressurize this area anymore. Although I should have come and grabbed this metal first, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Actually, let's drop that metal. So what we'll do is we'll drop that metal down right now, and then build a wall right here, so that way later on we can expand our bathroom and be okay. So we'll just do that, and now that way that metal's accessible to us without having to have gone up that way. And then this we're gonna get done, and then we're gonna mark it for cleaning. Let's make sure that we have we have everything that's being acceptable down here, and then Hassan's gonna keep running, and we're gonna got running on our wheel right here. Yeah, this seed's a little... we'll find out. We've got natural gas right here, which is a little concerning, actually, because it makes me think that there is indeed a natural gas generator or a natural gas geyser somewhere up in this area, but we're gonna find out. A lot of things from a world gen standpoint have changed in the most recent patch. Yeah, see how he's like gasping for air now? This was obviously not great, and so now all of my oxygen is going to kind of flow into this room, and it did it super fast. That's a huge problem because it means that I have to pressurize this area while they're trying to feel good. So we're going to try to kind of basically loot and scoot, and grab as much of this as we can, and then get it and go. And unfortunately, they're doing stuff. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to say, hey, I want you guys to clean this as a priority, right? Get all of this. So that way they're going to pick it up, and then we'll send it down this way. So there's 6.6 tons of copper available up there. That's going to be plenty for us to do. But with that, the first thing that we're going to make is a microbe musher. That's going to go right there. That's going to help us make food, and we're going to make ourselves a supercomputer. That's going to go right there, so we don't have to move too far. And we're going to make ourselves a jobs board so that we can actually play with hats. Jobs board, hats. So those are the things that we're going to do. The seed's good. I mean, this seed will work. It's just a rough start because everything's in such opposite areas. I'm worried about the fact that there's natural gas in here, but it's weird. Naturally occurring natural gas. A lot of hydrogen, a lot of chlorine, a lot of iron. This is a cool area to kind of go. Right, if we're going to break out, maybe heading down over this way is not a bad idea. But we could also head this way, which is not the world's worst idea. So we're 5 cycles in. We've got plenty of copper to deal with. We're about to get our food set up, and we're going to make sure that this is kind of always powered, and so that way we can start producing food before they get hungry, right? We never really want this to go to 0 for any amount of time, and the only reason is because we'll end up at a deficit of they'll be really hungry. They eat about 1,000 calories a day, but they have a stomach that can hold 4,000 calories. So if you let them get down to, 100 calories in their stomach, then they have to eat 4,000 calories before they're back to being full, which can, right, you'll be at this food deficit, so people will be starving and doing stuff. So we're going to set this to 9, and we're basically just going to make it so that somebody is going to live on this machine, and then somebody can live on this machine. Dupe power is important, but we're actually going to do a second wheel here, just so they can possibly power stuff faster, right? Because this takes up 240 watts, which is not a small amount. So this is all clean now. Since that's all clean, I'm going to break this. And I'm going to build a tile right here, because I really don't care much about this stuff right now. I have plenty of that available down here. But what I want to do is make sure that this deoxidizer doesn't have to work to pressurize this entire area. Oh god, no. Yeah, okay, now you go down. Now do it. Again. So we're going to get a new dupe soon, and I actually plan on taking that dupe. So I'm also going to grab myself a cot like that, and then we're going to expand out to 6 cots in a bedroom. And then we'll make another bedroom on top of it if we need to at some point. So I want these two to also be priority because we're about to get a new dupe. 60 seconds. So we just got a warning about food safety, which makes me think that somebody... It's just because we started producing our own food. Alright, no worries. People are washing their hands, and that's important, right? This washing the hands is super important. The other thing that we're looking at doing right now is we need to figure out a way to deal with polluted stuff. In this case, polluted dirt and polluted water, which is going to come out of these outhouses and this sink. Normally, I'd like to dig a pit. And I'm just trying to think of where we're going to put that pit. And I'm kind of thinking that we kind of expand this way and we put our polluted water pit kind of right. Yeah, kind of right here. And we're going to build it with a little bit of a roof so that when we crack this water pool and send it down into here, that it won't go into our polluted water pit. So we're going to build it down here. No big deal. Yeah. So we're going to add a new duplicate because I think we're okay to do so. 4 learning, build and dig, 3 digging, pacifist mole hands. That is fine with me. And then we're going to do hat time in the morning. So it's morning now. Hold on, I'm going to pause it while we're looking, and we're going to do hat time. He wants to be a research assistant, but I think somebody else was much better at it. Oh, he wants to be a farmhand, and he's got a 5 in it, so that's him. He wants to be a miner, and he's got a 3. He wants to be a groundskeeper and a sous chef. He's going to be a sous chef. He wants to be a groundskeeper and a gopher. I'm going to make him a gopher for now, and then we'll make him again, and then he can be the research assistant. So we're going to let them get their hats. Hats are important because they let us do other things like, oh, use the supercomputer, and use other things. Hat time! Yeah, ready, punched in, hat time! Okay. So we're good. So now they've got beds. I'm going to stick at 5 dupes for a couple minutes until I know for a fact that my resources are up to the task. So then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, okay, we're going to dig out some extra stuff. And part of that is going to be digging out... we're going to send a ladder down this way. But what we're going to do is we're also going to tile like that. And so that way we can start kind of encasing our water supply. Right, because what I really want to do is protect the hell out of this water supply. It is important to our survival. So I'm going to do that. So what they'll do is they'll come down this, and then they'll dig, they'll build a wall, they'll dig, they'll build a wall, they'll dig, they'll build a wall. But they're also disinfecting, because they've got food poisoning on them. Because we're dealing with polluted stuff up here. So I'm not too worried about it yet, but I am worried about it. And then we're also going to research basic farming. This is going to give us access to put down another ration box. It's going to give us access to planter boxes for growing our own food. And it's going to give us access to compost, which we can use to make fertilizer out of other bits. So this is going to be priority. I want them to do that. And they're also going to come down here and kind of work on that type of stuff, right? So we might have some water that kind of shows up in the shaft, but that's okay. We'll just mop it up, and we'll have to put it here. We'll have to put it somewhere in here, apparently. And to do that, we're going to kind of cancel that, and we're just going to build something like that. And we're going to say, put a tile. And we're going to put a bottle emptier right here, so that we can empty regular water, non-polluted water into here. And they're going to get hypothermia. It just means that they're going to work slower for a little while. It won't kill them, which is fine. Yeah. Oh, they can't get... Oh, that's why they're doing it from over here, huh? Because they can't actually get to here. So since they can't get to there, they weren't coming over this way, right? Because they can only make it through that not one gap, that two tall gap. And then these are going here. We're going to have this accept everything at this point. But it seems like we are food positive because we've got more mush bars than we do have people to eat, which is good. So we're food positive. So what are we at? That bed is not available, which is a thing. So we're going to make sure that we build floors. So that was the last of our oxalite, which means that now is when we figure out if oxygen is going to really become a problem. Which it doesn't appear to yet, but you never know. So poor Devin didn't go to bed because his bed wasn't working, but we're going to fix that for today. He's also sick, but, I mean, poor Devin. It is what it is. So he isn't washing his hands. He didn't wash his hands, and it might be because two people went to the bathroom at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a second wash basin here. Hello, Kim Possible! And make it so that no matter what, they basically have to wash their hands. Now, there is a pocket of hydrogen here. I'm actually going to be careful not to break into it. I just don't want it floating up to here right now. Even though it'll actually probably settle, it'll settle right here. But I just don't want it, I don't want it coming up here right now. So I'm not too worried about it. I am the cheapest entertainment. Dude, I'm so cheap, I'm free. I feel dirty and I feel dirty and easy. I feel dirty and easy. I don't know why I'm doing it. Actually, you know what? I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, so now we're gonna set this to left, and we're okay. So we're gonna set this also to an 8, so that way that they keep this bathroom up and running. And then once we're here. Coconut Shark has followed. Coconut Shark, thank you for the follow. Welcome, new follow friends. We kind of hit the ground running tonight, so that's there. So there's a lot of water that kind of came down into here, which, I mean, I both expected and didn't expect. Enough so that it's almost a problem. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make this, right, because we're going to put a ceiling here. And to do that, we actually need to build kind of like a ladder wall so that we can put a ceiling right here. So I want to dig that out, and I want to put a ceiling. So that way we can seal off this area eventually. So we're going to do that. We're going to build our ceiling, and then we're going to make this into... I'm going to make it a little wider than it is taller, only because of this hydrogen and this chlorine is so close. Yeah, that hydrogen and that chlorine is so close, so I'm going to make it a little bit wider than it should be tall. So what we'll do is we'll make this, and then we're going to make this our polluted water pit. And it's going to kind of come out to here, and then over, and probably down to like here. So let's actually continue that. Right, let's plan it out. So we're going to come over to like here, we're going to come down to like there, and then I think that's bleach stone, that's also bleach stone. So let's come down to like there, and then we'll come over like this. And we'll come up, and we're just going to leave this as kind of an access shaft to get down into this area if we decide or need to later. So they're going to have a bad time working this right now. There's just no oxygen down here, and I mean, it's the very definition of crappy conditions, so no big deal, but it is what it is. Right, for the greater good. And then we just finished our research, so we're actually going to do the next research. I want to get to manual airlocks so that we can kind of lock things out, but I also kind of like the idea of getting decontamination. So really, airflow tiles, this one is going to give me this, and mesh tiles. So we're actually going to go up this way. And this is really good as a third way to go, unless you have a specific need for getting to coal or getting to farm tiles or something like that. This is a good kind of general third push. If you want, you can go to artistic expression if you have an artist in your colony, and this will help you manage stress a whole lot more, and it's a fairly quick research. But this kind of gets you, one, it gets you hygienic bathrooms, and you don't need showers, but it gets you that. It gets you better sinks, and it gets you the mechanized airlocks, which are the best airlocks in the game, from a one-door airlock perspective. So this is a good way to rush. It's a hard choice. Let's go here, and the next dupe that we pick up, we're going to pick up an artist. And so that way we can manage stress a little bit easier. Right, because our stress is already getting pretty high, and I don't really have a great way of managing it. So what I want to do is, first things first, never use an algae terrarium. They're garbage. They're completely crap. They do not produce nearly enough oxygen for what you spend. This is going to be regular water only. Regular water only. Don't put polluted water in here. That would be bad news. Polluted water is going to go over here. And then, like that. Yeah. And then letter. No. Today is the first day of seeing this game, so you bought it? I'm pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to work, but, I mean, good for you. I'm fairly certain most of the time you're supposed to... Well, you know what? I've had a lot of games where I've seen it for one day and then bought it, so I mean, I can't exactly be all... I'm not gonna judge you for that.
Impulse buying is okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge you for buying a game you saw one day. Why does your name sound familiar? So we're gonna do everything right here, and I'm also gonna prioritize it because I want them to store this, and I do not want them to store the food here. So I am actually going to deconstruct this building. The reason that I'm gonna have them store it down here is carbon dioxide is gonna come down. And it's going to get stuck here. And carbon dioxide is inert, which is going to make it so that this is a sterile atmosphere, and my food won't spoil as fast. That's super important, because I don't want my food to spoil. Not that we have a huge, like, you know, excess of food right now, but I don't want the food that we have to spoil and then end up being kind of a problem. So we're also going to get rid of you. And we're going to make you, and you, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to do you, and you, and you. Okay, so we're good there. No judgment zones. 0 judgment. And then we're also going to build this tile. So once they deconstruct this, I am going to actually give them a massage table. Right, so I'm going to put a massage table right here. So that way they can come up, they can get a massage, and this 54% stress, we can start to get that number under a little bit more. Good parts. And then we're going to replace, once this gets built, we're going to put a couple things right here for like walls, and we're going to build some compost down here in our pollution pit. So it says this is unreachable. Alright, well then we're gonna do this. Sometimes they're able to get this stuff and sometimes they're not. Kind of seems random. So they just deconstructed that. So I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna say, hey, you can now have a massage table. We do need to power it. So we're gonna run power and we're gonna do this. Now, the reason that I'm running it through the floor and not just kind of like all around is a system called Decor. And Decor... As your duplicants grow in their jobs, decor becomes more and more important to them, right? They don't want to live in a ugly hole. They want to live in a pretty hole. And this power cable has negative decor, but not in a very large radius. So it's minus 4.5 decor in a radius of 1 tiles. So if you bury it in your walls, they'll never see it, and it doesn't count as negative decor. So if I look right here, right, even though, or if I look, you know, right here, you'll see that it highlights what has negative decor, and it's highlighting the wires that are sticking out, but it's not highlighting all of the wires that are here. Over here is another one, right? It's not highlighting any of the wires in the walls, but it is highlighting the wires that are sticking out. So that's important, right? And that becomes more and more important as certain things get higher and higher negative decor rating, just because stress can be... If you run a very stressful colony, stress can kill your colony super fast. So we're going to do this. They're going to, again, now be able to get some bits. However, that means that these are way more important, right? Because now to power this, we need to have it. And somebody had an accident? Somebody made a mess. Oh, because these aren't being cleaned. So we need an artist. Let's find ourselves an artist. Oh, she wants to do art. And she's actually not bad. Oh, but you have 7 learning. That's... But 9 is 5 athletics. Oh. Well, she wants to do art. He wants to do art, but she also wants to do art. So we're going to make her an artist because she is going to paint ourselves some paintings. And artists are the only ones that can do paintings. And those will be super important for a little while, and then very much stop being super important. Now, this is the perfect example where they made this mess because the bathrooms aren't cleaned. This is the perfect example of why we built this U, right? Because if they had just peed in this water, we're boned. Like, we're screwed. It's going to have, like, see that it's happening again because these bathrooms aren't cleaned. So if they had just peed in that water, we would be in, like, a serious amount of trouble. Right now, we're actually in enough trouble as it is because this polluted water is touching our food. And that means that our food's going to get food poisoning, right? Which means our dupes are going to ingest food poisoning, which means that we're going to have a food poisoning problem sooner than later. So instead, we're going to prioritize 9, make sure that we're going to clean all of the food, and make sure that we eat it. And then that also illustrates the need, right, where we really do need to get this pollution pit up and running. So that way we can kind of start dealing with polluted water a little bit easier. So we're going to make some tiles. Those will be the bits. And then we're going to do this. And we're going to dig this out. So this is going to be super important. And then we're going to have a bottle emptier, so when they mop stuff up, we're going to have that, and we're going to deconstruct that. It's just ugly. This is also a 9, and then this one's going to be polluted water. Right, and now what we'll do is when we want to empty this water pit, because this will be the first water pit that I think we empty into here. Once this gets low, what we'll do is we'll empty this water pit down into here. And we'll just do that by digging out this part and then letting it flow down past this. That's a weird... That's why Hike has a hole in his chair with a bucket under it? Ah, oh, that's just... That's not right. I do not have a raid sock, thank you. I have heard stories. I was gonna say, I have heard stories of people who, like, pee in, like, fucking 2 liters and shit, like, while they're playing video games. I'm like, how nasty? Like, how seriously invested in a video game must you have to be to decide that, hey, you know what I don't want to do is spend the, like, 5 seconds getting up and going to the bathroom, and instead, like, I'm just gonna pee in this cup or something like that, or I'm gonna poop on something, and then just, it's not like that shit doesn't stink. So what is that? My dog coughing? No. I don't think she's coughing, is she?
Maybe they hear me.
I don't think she's coughing. Pee in Mountain Dew bottles and put it outside the window? Oh my god. Like, that's a mental illness. That's not... Like, you seek help for that. Too lazy will play... God, there is no... That's a mental illness. That's not... That's
No,
not...
that's severe laziness.
That's not right. Okay, so... Right, we have this to do this. But what we're doing... Beat that child until he learns. I agree. But what we need is to make it so that our base is pretty. And to make our base pretty, we're going to, well, very literally, we are just going to paint a storm. So we're going to go and we're going to make paintings, and then that's going to make our base pretty, and a pretty base is a base where dupes can't be stressed out, so that they won't break things, they won't eat too much, they won't cry. Literally, they will cry. I mean, they won't do those things. So the other thing that I'm going to do down here is... who does that? Is I'm going to put a storage container. I'm going to put polluted dirt in the storage container. So this is all just kind of waiting for people to come down after their morning meals. And then this is going to mean that we can store a lot of the polluted stuff down here, and I'm okay. Yeah, that's... Pooping in a... or peeing in a bottle and then dumping it out your window? Oh, man. And you know that since, like... You know that his you know that since, like, his diet is probably just complete crap and garbage, like, that his pee has a very strong odor to it, and he's just, like... And you know it's probably, like, outside somebody's window, like, if it's outside his window, like, it's outside somebody else's window, so you know it's just this, like, crazy strong, like, pee odor.
Gross.
Yeah, it must be you coughing that they hear. It's gotta be, it's coming from my headset. The coughing is coming from my headset.
I'll try to cough quieter.
You're hearing the ghost cough. Ooh, scary ghosts. I didn't know you could hear her that well.
People are so nice in this game.
In Rift.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna build this. This is our pollution pit. We're good. We're in a good spot. We're in a good. Why did you make a mess? This bathroom's out of order? Oh, it's awaiting dirt. Okay, well these are definitely now way more important. Because these guys are just they're peeing up a storm. And again, super important to protect your water supply above all else. Just protect your water supply. Right, this would have been really hard to come back from if it hadn't been for this trap. Nope, you're not crazy. Well, I mean, you might be crazy, but you're not crazy about that. So, we're also not getting algae, even though we have plenty. So I don't know, because everything else is a 9. How's the dog? We're not sure. Willow's blood work came back today. And it does show elevated levels of whatever the hell they were looking for. Which is both, I mean, it's bad news that she's sick, but it's good news that we might know what it is. Because if it is Cushing's, then it's treatable, ideally. And if it's not Cushing's, then we're back to square one, and we just don't know. So, ooh, hatchy. We're gonna have a bedroom hatch. So I have to take her in tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8:30 in the morning. I have to take the dog in so that she can have a full day of tests tomorrow, which means I'm sure she's gonna love me. But she's gonna go in tomorrow morning for a full day of tests. This is just so that they can build all of this without having to dig out this up here. I don't want them to build all of this.
Fuck, it's so cool.
And then canvas. Did I bury the hatch in a tile? Did I? Actually, where did the hatch go? Where did the hatch go? Okay. Seven. I want to know why. Please. There we go. So, for some reason, they just weren't. They were just deciding that air, they didn't need air for some reason. And so nobody was filling this, even though it's priority 9. And part of that is because I made everything else priority 9 in the dirt. Okay, so he's down here. Well, not anymore. He's not. And so they weren't filling this, and part of that is my problem. And that's just because I rely so heavily on priority 9 to kind of force them to do things that it just becomes a huge issue. So I'm going to cool off on getting new dupes for a couple minutes, mostly because I just I want to let this stabilize a little bit and kind of get some stuff rolling. The other thing that we're going to do is, since we just came up here, we're going to go for decontamination. That way we can get a proper bathroom set up and mechanized airlocks to kind of get this all set up. Right, so now they're all going to gasp for air. It's going to mean that they have high stress. And then I want them to do this, but not on top of their other stuff. And then we also need them to really clean this room. Because there's a lot of, well, both literally and not literally, there's a lot of shit in here that needs to get cleaned. Yeah, he's doing the O2 dance, because they're just not getting oxygen, because this just, apparently, oh, no power. Okay, well, I basically want somebody to run on this wheel forever. Power is important. We need the power. Yeah, I'll find him later. Maybe. It would be nice if it told me which tile he was under, but it does not. Yeah, I basically want somebody to run on this wheel forever and ever and ever until the end of time. Alright, so now this is made. This is going to be available for only polluted dirt. And I'm going to make it so that these cannot store polluted dirt. So we're going to take this, and then we're going to copy the settings. That's your backspace key, or backslash key. And we're just going to copy the settings over to that. And we are food positive, which is cool. So we're going to let them clean up for a little while. We're going to let them build, do some stuff, and kind of chill out. Our stress isn't too bad. So we're in a fairly good spot. We're doing good research. We're going to have proper bathrooms soon. So proper plumbing, and we'll be okay. And then this is starting to get more pressurized, right? Less red, more purple and blue. That's what we want. We want less red, more purple and blue. And then we're going to have the ability to make some plumbing stuff. Eventually, we are going to want a pump we're going to put the pump kind of right here in the middle so it collects as much of the water as we can. And then we'll start kind of laying out what we want our plumbing to be, because we're going to have to run plumbing up to this bathroom. And then we're going to have to run polluted water back down to here. So this is unreachable. Do doors act as barriers to keep out in... Yes, yes. Not all doors. These doors right here are permeable. They allow both water and gas to go through. However, when you research both mechanical airlocks and automated mechanized airlocks, those both have the ability to let... or the ability to stop gas from going through, and water. So you can use them as a way to separate, you know, different zones. Like right now I have this just walled off, but once we get airlocks, what we'll do is we'll put an airlock here so they can still go up here and access what's up here, right? Because we're going to need more metal eventually. But it's going to make it so that this the oxidizers doesn't have to pressurize all of this up here. Right, and right now, like, a lot of it's also coming down here, so what's going to happen is we'll put an airlock, like, right here and an airlock here, and so that way our carbon dioxide kind of falls down here, but then this polluted oxygen that's going to get generated down here from the polluted water and from this compost and from all of the polluted dirt doesn't instead come out, ride that carbon, and come up and settle around here. Right, because gases in this game all have different weights, and... The polluted oxygen will rest on top. Carbon dioxide is the heaviest gas, right? Followed by natural gas, followed by chlorine, then polluted oxygen, hydrogen. And what'll happen is this polluted oxygen that you see kind of coming right here, it'll make its way this way, because what it'll do is as the carbon dioxide gets thicker and thicker down here, it pushes this polluted oxygen up, and then we'll start to see that there's going to be like a band of polluted oxygen that just exists in this area between oxygen and carbon dioxide. And I just don't want that to go there as much, just because I don't want them breathing the polluted oxygen. So we'll put an airlock door here. Okay, so we just got the second bit of plumbing. That gives us access to mesh tiles. I'm going to use a mesh tile here, and 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 here. And I'm going to use these tiles as a way to still allow gases and liquids to kind of go up and down, but then also give them something a little bit more solid to work on. I'm also using it here because what's happening is you'll see that we have oxygen, but there's a bunch of carbon dioxide that's getting kind of pushed down to this bottom part near the beds because there's nowhere for it to go, right? It's getting stuck on this block. So if I use the mesh tiles or an airflow tile right here, what'll happen is it'll start letting it kind of filter down and do what it needs to do, right? It's just good. These ones aren't required, but I like to do them because they're aesthetically pleasing to me. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put in just a handful of mesh tiles right here, and a couple kind of mesh tiles just kind of all the way down, just so that way air has an easier way of moving throughout the base. Right, so now instead of having to have gas make this deoxidizer, instead of having to have it so that to pressurize this room, it has to come out and then up and then over and in, what'll happen is the entire thing will kind of equalize, it'll pressurize. And I mean, these cost a lot of metal, but it's worth. Worth it. And then we're also going to get rid of these ladders. That's actually the more important one, so let's actually 7 these. Let's 5 that, and 7 this. And then that's going to be more important. We're going to get rid of those ladders, we're going to clean the floor, and we're going to put artwork in here. Right, see? During the night, they're all breathing. It's going to fill this up with carbon dioxide. These actually become, never mind, I lied, these are more important. So that way we can start kind of getting that carbon dioxide exchanged for oxygen. And you'll find that in your bedrooms at night. for any colony, right? You'll have this perfectly pressurized bedroom, and it's got like 2 kilograms of gas, and then your dupes sleep in it, and in the morning it's not pressurized anymore, and there's carbon dioxide. So unless you have really good flow, you're just gonna always figure that out. And that's just normal because at night, you know, you have so many dupes in one area that you have to make sure that it's pressurized. And so you'll see most of that carbon dioxide is now falling down. It's going this way. It'll settle down here. What was I doing? Oh yeah, we're gonna put canvases up here, so that way when they're sleeping they feel like they're comfortable. We're also going to put a sculpting block and a sculpting block. So this way they're gonna be like so surrounded by so much pretty that they completely forget the woes of them living in what is essentially a slave labor mine inside of an asteroid that nobody knows exists. So we'll let this is just going to help our deoxidizer, which is good. I'm a fan. 16 cycles already? What was I doing? What was I doing? I was doing something. I don't remember what it was. This is the thing. Okay, there we go. Apple conditions. Yeah. Alright, so we're good. This is going to start really pressurizing a whole lot better. Notice all of the carbon dioxide, not all of it, but most of the carbon dioxide is gone. We do have some polluted oxygen that's made its way over here. That should fall down eventually. You're never going to get it so that it's all like perfectly blue all the time like this. It's just not going to happen. This game is an exercise in don't let perfection get ahead of good enough. If something is good enough. Yeah, I'm getting all of this clean air from basically one algae contraption. And this is actually working overtime. We have more dupes than this will necessarily provide air for, but it's working well enough because we've kept our area small that this one will work fairly well. And so now you'll see like this area is getting worse. It's getting less and less. And we've got more carbon dioxide that just got created, but that'll filter out through the day and off we go. So these guys are in a fairly good spot. We can start actually figuring out plumbing now because we just researched lavatories. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our plumbing come up, and we're going to have a cold water pipe kind of run the entire length of our base, and we're going to come over and we're going to run to there. And this is a good idea. Preview build still crashing a lot? I haven't crashed tonight, but I'm not saying no. And then what we're going to do is this is going to have output pipes, so we're going to have to deal with polluted water. We're going to have that run down, and then we're going to have it kind of run all the way down to here, and then run over to here, and we're going to drop it and let the polluted water kind of just come into our polluted water pit. I'm not going to say no, but they've fixed a lot of the really like egregious crashes. Now, you'll just get a feel for this over time as you build, you know, and kill 100 bases. But I know that for my... Hey, man, thanks for the follow. Yeah, thanks, Shark Mode. I'm glad that you got the game. I know that the cold water input or the clean water input is going to be there, and the polluted water input is going to be there. And that's just from experience. Right, so I can pre-wire these, and so that way I have the ability to just kind of swap them out. And now I do want this plumbing to be important, because this is going to make it so that we don't have to rely on somebody coming up here and plunging for half a cycle to be able to use the bathroom. Which is just a thing. I'm not going to prioritize those yet. Because we're actually doing okay on stress. Priority 9. Everything's a 9. Oh, everything is a 9. But I want to make it so that we're not dealing with the polluted stuff up here as much. So what I should also do is I should actually clear out some of this. Right now, some of this heavy stuff it's really getting pushed here because the game doesn't balance gases on a horizontal playing field, right? So it's not like when everything settles, if you were to have a completely empty asteroid filled with all the different gases, it does not settle horizontal. It settles at an angle, and you're seeing the effect of that here, right? Where all of this carbon dioxide, even though it could freely travel down from right here, right, it's settling down here in the bottom left-hand corner. And so they go from bottom left, which would be carbon dioxide, all the way up to, wait, no, I lied, bottom right, which is carbon dioxide, all the way up to the top left, which would be hydrogen. So they settle at an angle, which also means that you can take advantage of that, right? So if I know that I'm going to open this hydrogen pocket, Reaper Kill 24/7, thank you for the follow. I know that if I open up this hydrogen pocket, right, that eventually what it'll do is it'll make its way up here, it'll come here, and then it'll come up, and then it'll start to make its way here. Some of it might get trapped here, right, because it's left, but it's probably going to go up through these and up through here, and it's actually going to get stuck here, is where that hydrogen would get stuck, because it's the top left-hand corner of where it can possibly go, right? As much as I know also, like, this is going to be the highest carbon dioxide because it's the bottom right-hand corner of where it can go. So, like, this has got 427 grams of carbon dioxide, whereas right here is only 200 grams. And that's just because it's going to settle on an angle. Use that to your advantage, but now you'll see that even though we're doing this, this algae deoxidizers is having trouble keeping up, right? Because it's only putting out 550 grams a second, or it's putting out 500 grams a second of oxygen, and we're using more than that, right? If we go into our bits right here, or if we go into our report, we're adding, I'm going to go to yesterday, we added 297 kilograms of oxygen, but we removed 300 kilograms, which means we are at a deficit. We actually need to produce more oxygen, right? This one isn't going to support all 6 dupes all the time. Now, they'll start to gasp, and they'll do things, and you can kind of treat them like you could squeak by with this, but they're just not going to be happy. You're going to be trading stress for algae at this point. And I don't want to do that. I want my dupes to be happy, and I love my dupes, and I would do anything for my dupes. They are the most cherished resource that I have ever dealt with. It hurt me saying that. So I'm going to put another one, and I'm just going to put it right here. I would normally put it up here, but I don't. This will be fine. So I'm going to put it right here so that way we can pressurize a little bit easier, right? Because I don't really want oxygen down here. I want this to be carbon dioxide. So we're going to put another one right there, and we do need to power it, like so. And off we go. And then we built the plumbing, so the plumbing is already set. Now we are going to need to power this pump. Now, we've kind of gotten to a point now, or we've gotten to a point where we have a lot of things on this circuit. Right, if we take a look at the circuit, we're at 900 watts. We're not using all 900 watts all the time, but once we add this, we're going to be at 1140 watts, which is over the amount that this circuit can actually handle. And that's a problem because we'll start to burn out wires, even though we can... Well, we can't even do this, right? Because these only produce 400 watts of the... 400 watts for... And then we're going to be draining 800, 900 watts. We're going to actually start to run out of power. And that means that we really do need to start thinking about how we're going to make it so, 1, we don't have to have duplicants running on hamster wheels all the time, and 2, produce more power or start to put things on other circuits so that we don't burn out this circuit. And the way that we're going to do that to start is we're going to research into coal. So we're going to do internal combustion. This is going to get us the battery, the bigger battery. It's going to get us a switch to allow us to turn things on and off. It's going to get us... Really? We don't have wire bridges without it? Okay, it's going to get us a wire bridge, and it's going to get us the coal generator, which is what we're really looking for to start. Because this coal generator is going to allow us to burn... what do we have? Consumable ore. Apparently 30 kilograms of coal. Alright, so we're going to have to come up here and we're going to have to mine coal, and then we're going to be able to burn that coal for power. But we don't have access, actually, to a ton of coal right now. We have access to this bits of coal, like right here and here and here and some of this. And we have access to some of this coal right here, but there's actually not a ton of coal, so it's not a permanent solution for us by any means right off the bat. We're either going to have to find another power source, or we're going to have to expand to try to find some coal. Real life problems, am I right? Hatches got nerfed. They needed to. Hatches were ridiculously good. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to mine this coal. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to mine this coal. So now you see, instead of kind of living at this purple, we're now going to start to go light blue. And light blue is where you want it to be, right? That's going to be up to about 2 kilograms of pressure, which is fine. 2 kilograms is comfortable. Anything over that 2 kilograms, right? If you start using high pressure areas, your dupe's ears will pop and they'll gain stress. Okay. So I do want to swap these out though, like sooner than later. So this is actually important. Yeah, hatches got nerfed. That's... yeah, it had to happen. And then I also want... right, because we're going to swap to coal in a minute. I really do need to make sure that we do get some coal. And then we'll also come up here, because we're going to have access, or we do have access to mechanized airlocks. So what we'll do is we'll also... get rid of these two. I lied. We'll get rid of these two. And we're going to put a mechanized airlock right there. So now this pipe is available. So what we're going to do is we're also going to deconstruct you tomorrow. And we're going to, put a mechanized airlock like this. So now that way we're going to be able to get up and down here to be able to access our coal storage, or, you know, our coal vein, without having to pressurize this area, right? Because even though I'm going to pump some oxygen up there while this is destroyed, and that's fine, right? Because they're going to need to be able to breathe up here while we're working. I don't want to do it all of the time. I want to keep my oxygen as closely down here as I can. So we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to come in here to medicine, and we're going to put in a sink. And then we're also going to get rid of you. Haterade, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. So we're going to get rid of that. And now this is cycle 20. This is the last cycle we're going to do for this base tonight. And then we're going to move on to the next one. Because we're starting probably 4 new bases. So there we go. Let's also do that. And then this is going to be our primary... right, we're going to be able to better service our duplicates in a more hygienic manner. I am well tonight. I am in a better spot tonight than last night. Hope for the future. There's no good guide on when you should go, right? it all really depends on, like, right now, I know that if I'm going to rely on coal as a power source, right, this is not a ton of coal. It looks like there's a bunch, but this is definitely not a ton of coal. In fact, this is not even like 20 cycles of coal. So I really don't have coal. And what that means is I have to find coal, or I have to find some other way to power it. 2 months! Been a month already? Oh, thank you! 2 months! 2 months! Does it make you actually do that? Or, like, God, has it been a month already? Actually, I both kind of knew that, and I thought tomorrow would be a month. I don't know how it works. I'm new. Oh, am I oh, and a follow! New follow friend, Master Baldwin 32. Thank you for the follow. So, you know, there's a lot of things that kind of force you out of the comfort zone of the temperate biome, right? One can be water if you get really crappy water, but that doesn't really happen so much anymore. Oh, you have to press a button to share it. Okay. Two is algae. Algae is normally the impetus for having to leave, right? Because you either need to go get more algae, or you need to get more coal. It's going to be algae and coal are going to be the two that you have to leave. Or maybe you get screwed on copper and you have to go get more copper. There's a lot of things that kind of can force you to leave your base, but there's no specific, like, hey, by cycle 20 you should be out, or by cycle 30 you should be out, right? I would say normally for most bases, by cycle 50 you should be pushing into some other biome. So that's the first 20 cycles of that one. We've done okay. We've got ourselves a nice place. We're starting to litter it with art. We've got a pretty good storage of food saved up. We've got 17,000 kilocalories, so we can support some more duplicates. Maybe we'll build another bedroom up here next. We've got a pretty good source of metal and that, but what I'm worried about in this base, because I'm not seeing any great pockets, what I'm worried about here is going to be coal and power, right? So we're going to need, in the next 20 cycles, we're going to need to figure out some more power. We're doing okay on algae. If we take a look at our organic, we've still got about 4 tons of algae, and we've got a whole bunch right here. There's a whole bunch up here. There's more available here. There's some available. So we're okay for algae. So right now the big thing is going to be getting power working. But we've got bathrooms starting to be replaced, and we're okay. So that is the first 20 cycles of Hatch Ranch. Now, if you're new around here, yes, apparently the coughing is loud today. So if I just turned it down. So if you're new around here, on Monday we're doing restart day. What we're basically doing is we're starting a base, we're going to cycle 20, and then we're going to another base. And then next week we're going to take these bases and we're going to take them from 21 to 40, and then the week after that we're going to take them from 41 to 60, 61 to 80, 81 to 100. And then by then we should be on the next patch cycle, and we should be okay. Yeah, if you've got a lot of polluted water, natural gas generation is easily a good idea. So I am going to hit the main menu here, and so now we've got the Hatch Ranch. We are going to start ourselves a new save.